Hi and welcome to Todex in the 18.0 Todex e-commerce platform release. For all content managed websites hosted for businesses on the platform, we've added a new setting into the content managed websites that allows HTTP response headers to be set by administrator users across all web pages loaded on the website. This is a fairly technical piece of functionality, but is very useful to be able to control the information that is returned from the servers to the web browsers. This can be used to provide additional security to the content managed websites to reduce the chances of hackers and malicious third parties from being able to access or take users' data, such as implementing HTTP response headers, such as the content security policy header. This feature allows administrator users to provide security policies that very much target the type of content that is allowed to be hosted on the website. But they can also come up with other HTTP response headers that may be relevant to the web browsers, which may include other settings or filters to tell the web browsers how to handle the web pages that are given to them. To take an example, on this particular website, if we open up the developer tools and we reload the web page, if we click on the network tab in the developer tools and we look at the web page that has been loaded, we can see that there are a number of response headers that are returned from the web servers hosting the website on the Todex e-commerce platform, and different information to tell the web browsers how to handle the loading of the web page. So we've already got existing headers here called content encoding, the content security policy that I previously showed you that it was set up before, the content type, the date, and other headers that are relevant to the web browser. It is in this list of information that for any web page loaded on the same content managed website, where we can set the same header information to be applied. So if I click on the brands web page, we can see the content security policy that we had implemented is also being loaded on the brands web page, and it may be also on the home web page and any other web page that is loaded on this website. So this policy can cover all content managed web pages and ensuring the browsers know exactly how to treat the web page, and in this case, what content is allowed to be loaded on it and from which sources. So we have some rules in place here that dictate if content can be loaded from the todex.com domain, securetodex.com domain, as well as our own domain that is loading this web page. And we're also allowing YouTube in its cookieless domain to also allow YouTube content to be embedded in the web page. So this is all important information, because if content is embedded in the website, is it coming from a malicious third-party source, let's call them badactor.com, if they could anyway embed their content in the web page, then it still wouldn't load because the web browser is being told not to load content from that badactor.com website. So this is just one example of how we can use HTTP response headers in order to beef up security of the website, as well as to provide additional information to the web browsers on how to load the web page. This is a very important security measure that we would highly recommend be deployed across any websites hosted on the platform. To set this up, if we log into the administration center of a Todex project and click on the websites menu item, and then click on the content managed websites menu item, within the websites interface, if we then click on the domain of the website to go into the website details interface, if we scroll down, we can now see this setting called global web page HTTP response headers. Now what we need to do is put our headers on each line. So we can see we've put two headers here. We've got content security policy. Now note that its value is covering only one line, but it's being wrapped around in the text editor. But we then have a second header here called X content type options no sniff, which is another technical HTTP response header that we can use for security reasons. So if we wanted to add a third HTTP response header, we simply need to add another new line, put in the name of the header itself. So in this case, it's called strict transport security. So this header tells our websites that they should only load over the secure HTTPS connections. Then we need to put the value of the HTTP request header. So in this case, we're saying the value is quoted in the double quotes, and then we're setting an age that the browser should remember this setting, and also that it should also include the content over the subdomains also loads over a secure connection as well. So once we've added all of our headers and click on the update website, then in a different browser window, or if we logged out, the next time we reload the web page, in the network tab, we can now see our strict transport security header has also been added to the web page. And note that some of the developer tools may reinterpret the headers. So if we turn off the raw, we can see the actual data that is coming back from the server. So this is yet another security header that we can use to increase the security of our website. It's highly recommended to also implement this security header as well. Now do note in the website details of the administration center, there are certain headers that are not allowed to be added to this list. This includes the content type header, the set cookie header, the content encoding header, and the transfer encoding header. If any of these headers are added to this list, they will be ignored. And they'll be ignored because the Todex e-commerce platform will need to use these headers in order to determine how to display the web page and the type of content that is displayed on the web page. Any of these headers will be ignored and there's no point of putting them into this setting. So that shows you the new capability that we have a content managed website hosted on the Todex e-commerce platform that allows administrator users to provide more control over the HTTP response headers that ultimately turn to the web browsers to tell them how to handle the web page. And this can be done to add additional security to the websites, or it can be used for other reasons to optimize the web pages, and allows us to apply these rules across all web pages hosted on the one content managed website. We would highly recommend setting up the content security policy, but note that this can be a little bit tricky to set up because it involves trying to look at the website and what content is allowed by third parties and which content is not. So I would highly recommend talking to the Todex service team about how to set this up right. Otherwise, if it's set up incorrectly, images or content on the web pages may not load from those third parties or even from the website itself, and it could break functionality. So it's very important to get these rules right. Otherwise, it could result in a loss of functionality for users. For more information about this feature and all other great features in the 18.0 Todex e-commerce platform release, head to the todex.com website. If you visit the forums within the release forum, if you look at the 18.0 platform release notes, you can find more details about this feature and other great features that can help your online business thrive. As well as you can talk to our service team about how to implement these features on your website. Till next time, have a good one.